Hello again. We're looking at dividing functions in this example. So let's take a look at that. Similar notation as the other three: add, subtract, multiply. Where are the parentheses? What does it mean? There we go. So our first example, we've got a quadratic divided by a quadratic. Boom. The only other thing to do after this is check to see if you can simplify. Everything should be simplified. And if you recall, even if you don't, what we did in Unit 1 when we were looking at rational equations, we factored the numerator and factored the denominator and then saw what we could cancel. That's what I taught anyways. So, oh, look at that. Something can come. We factored the numerator and the denominator and see that they do have a common factor that can be canceled. So the completely simplified is that answer right there. Caution, caution, caution. I'm doing a robot. Can you see me do the robot? Okay. When you do the domain for this, even though something canceled in the denominator, you have to look at where you started. And it's the entire g function that's in the denominator. So the entire g function is not equal to 0. And then you solve it, and you have two values that are not in the domain. If you just look at the simplified answer, you're getting it wrong. So go back to the beginning and look at the entire divide by. And like the other divide by examples that we've gone through so far, same kind of notation. All right, next example. The k function is now a root. And k divided by f. So, boom, done. There is no simplification for this particular one. So let's move on to the root. Now, this is completely identical to what was in lesson 1 for domain. In lesson 1, you were given a single function. What's the domain? Now we're given two functions. Put them together. What's the domain? The what's the domain question is identical. So you already know how to do this from lesson 1. We have an even root. We pay attention to the even root. The numerator doesn't matter unless there's an even root. And it's only the inside, just like before. Solve the inside, as you see there. Denominator, quadratic factor, not equal to. You don't divide by 0, so not equal to. Put them together. Well, the root says that -1 is okay to use. It says equal to -1. But the divide by overrides that. You cannot divide by 0, and if x equals -1, you divide by 0. Can't do that. Parentheses. There you go. And then the not equal to 5, same divide by situation we have there.